All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the YSOP Weekly Momentum Call. Welcome to everyone. Yes, this is so much fun. I feel like I have a big audience, and I don't right now, and I don't care because this is all about starting, okay? This is all about just having an idea and going with it and just letting it grow, which is building momentum, hence the theme, right? So this is our weekly space to connect, to reflect, and to build momentum together. If you are here live, drop into the chat, okay? Let us know where you're joining from and one thing that you are working on right now. This is what YSOP is about. Real people, real growth, and real connection. So if you didn't know, the theme for May is collaboration. I would just like to give a brief description of what the theme of, even though we only have a few more days in the month, but we're going to come back to this theme because I like it and I think it's worth dissecting more. So this is where we focus on the power of collaboration, growing together, learning from one another, and building meaningful connections. Real progress doesn't happen in isolation. It happens when ideas are shared, perspectives are exchanged, and people come together with purpose. All right. So if you don't know me, I'm Tim Young. I am the founder of YSOP International. And this is the second time hosting one of these live weekly calls. And on the second one, I would like to bring on, well, he's already on if you can't see him, special guest. He is my younger brother. He's part of the YSOP founding members. And we are so happy and proud to have him here to talk about collaboration from his perspective. How you doing, Mr. Young, Dr. Young?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I can't complain. It was raining in Maryland a little earlier, but the sun was trying
Okay.
to peep out. But now it went cloudy again, so the weather's a little strange today. But I'm glad to be here to be able to chat a little bit with you. So yeah,
Glad to be here.
cool. Yes. So as I mentioned, the theme of May is collaboration, and each week we have different topics. So this week the topic happens to be collaboration over competition. All right. And under that, we want to talk about, here's the description. Too many people see others as competition instead of potential collaborators. In this session, we'll explore how collaboration creates bigger opportunities, stronger communities, and a long-term success, especially for creatives, entrepreneurs, and musicians like myself. So, what can we learn about collaboration? Why is it important? You know, how do we grow using that theme, that topic, versus doing it on our own, being isolated, as a lot of times we, in this day and time, seem to be more and more that way, where we're on our own in a culture where technology creates a facade that you're connected and that you're actually collaborating. But I found that more people are in isolation. Loneliness is an epidemic. And what are some of the things that's causing that, maybe, and then some of the things that could make us aware of that's we are on that path of trying to do things by ourselves. We're not connecting. We're not reaching out to anyone. We feel like we can we're selfish, because we don't want to give people credit. We feel like, if I don't keep my hands on this project, if I don't keep my hands on trying to grow, get promoted, or all these kind of things, that I won't get the credit. How crazy is that?
I think you're hitting on all the things that come to mind for me. I think about it two ways. One, first is the need to understand why collaboration is important. I think that's the first piece. And then the second piece is really the need to evaluate what keeps people from doing so.
Right.
And so going back to why it's important, I think there, and you just touched on a few of the items that come to mind for me, but the collaboration for me, from my point of view, is collective thinking, right? Outside of yourself will likely yield better results in both short term and long term.
Okay.
I think it also helps to build long term sustainability, it reduces rework. Um, you learn from different perspectives, and it also helps you, allows you to build your network for the future.
Mm,
So conversely, so all that sounds good, right? So why wouldn't you collaborate if you get all that benefit out of doing so?
right.
But what really some of the things that come to mind for me that prevent people from doing so is, you mentioned it, the need to maintain control.
Ooh.
And it's really interesting kind of working in a corporate environment. You see that the higher people go up that corporate ladder, the more you see that behavior of maintaining control. Not only does it prevent collaboration, but it also um, creates another type of behavior, which is micromanagement.
Mm,
Uh, I think also is, you spoke to fear. Fear, you might not have all the answers. So if I go and collaborate with a colleague, and I might be exposing myself because I'm asking a question that I might should know the answer to. So I think that's something that element of fear certainly keeps people from doing so. This next one that comes to mind, really the big one, and I think that this is really one of the fundamental reasons people don't collaborate, and it's speed, and
mm.
it's the concerns that collaborating will slow me down. I can do it faster if I do it alone, and
Ooh.
my independent thinking.
Mm,
And we're both veterans, Army veterans, but there's a saying in the military, and I think more specific to the Navy SEALs, but it's a slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
mm,
Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So essentially, their methodology, or that ideology, I should say, is more about slow down, do all the necessary pre-work, develop the strategy, and then move. And then long term, you're going to move faster by moving slow at the onset.
mm-hmm, mm,
So that's something that really resonates. You touched on also competing priorities. So within the corporate environment, I see that a lot. We try to have what you call like objectives, or high level objectives, that you will develop at the beginning of a fiscal year, by way of an example. And each division across the organization really set up these high level objectives. Oftentimes you do it, you go with your division and you go to your corner, you'll take your team to your corner, our other colleague will go to their corner, develop these objectives independently of one another. So when it's time to collaborate, because each one of these divisions, the objectives overlap, so we miss that step. And that's
mm,
where a lot of organizations get caught in that white space, call it, because we fail to ensure that my priorities align with your priorities, so that we can move the entire organization
mm.
forward together. And then the last thing I'd say, Tim, is that keeps people from collaborating is, probably simply said, interpersonal challenges.
Mm.
Some people don't want to collaborate with you because you're a jerk. So
Right.
that's the kind of the way that I would frame it up, is just, it's really just one, really acknowledging the importance of collaboration, and how you can actually move an organization and yourself forward a lot faster, just based on that collective and comprehensive think. But
Mm,
then also really examining yourself from within, in terms understanding your developmental strengths and opportunities, and where you fall short, and then working on that
right.
developmentally with a coach, with a trusted partner, to ensure that you're closing those gaps.
Mm, good point. Yes, as you mentioned, being a veteran, musician, and now like
Mm.
an entrepreneur, I am really learning that skill of letting go to to grow
Right.
faster.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
just in the last year, I got a virtual assistant. So that's kind of an example. Not necessarily collaborating, but we are,
Yeah.
because when we meet, I'm asking him, I'm trying to get insight based on his perspective and things like that, versus me, I just need this done. I need you to do that. I need you to do that.
Hmm.
So I don't want, yes, it's nice to have people you can delegate tasks to, but also
Sure.
you want to leverage people make them part of what you're doing and building, and that's collaboration.
For sure. It
Yeah,
is.
and
You
and
think
so
you think about it this way. If I were to ask you to reflect on your accomplishments throughout your career and list just two things, list two things that you've achieved on your own without
mm,
the help of others.
right.
Could you do it?
No, because
You think,
no, you can't do it.
I would struggle. I think about, building your own business, starting your own business,
Right.
collaboration, building a website, got to work with people, even having good health. You need
Mm,
doctor support,
mm,
uh, promoted on your job, earning a degree. So I think all aspects of whatever we accomplish that's, um, significant,
mm,
it requires partnership and collaboration with others, in
mm.
both professionally and personally, is my point.
Yes, that's a good point. Now, this topic really got me going in, just reflecting, and as a musician, just you know, there's no way because I hold my art form
Hmm.
is collaborative.
Right.
Think about that. Like, just did a gig this past weekend with the trio,
Hmm.
older brother Al, and friend of
Hmm.
ours from home, Terry, and jazz music. If you like, if a person that don't know music and they just kind of watch,
Sure.
what that's what people notice is, oh, I just love the way you guys, interacted together. You guys
Hmm.
were now. Not all musicians are like this. You guys look like you were engaged with what each other are doing.
Hmm.
It's certain things because I think people see you before they hear you,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
so
True.
yeah. So, but yeah, it's
Well,
just
that
kind of.
I
Go ahead.
think. Yeah, I think what you tapping on with me is a fundamental piece of collaboration. It's the relationship building. You talk about how people could see the engagement, over the weekend with you guys, and you have to have those relationships.
Yes.
So, but that's the building and the nurturing of those relationships happens upstream. So that by way of an example, part of my responsibility is really span our company's footprint and extend beyond state lines. So what that means is a lot of the time, my time is spent out in the field interacting and engaging with people that work within the facilities to get the job done.
Mm,
So being in the field for me means that I'm not consistently at our home office or our headquarters, where the majority of my counterparts, key decision makers, where they are based out of. So it's important for me to ensure that I'm intentional about being present and visible among that group of people, that cohort, those cross-functional partners.
hmm.
So and I think this is more around just like intentionality.
Okay.
So this baking it into your schedule to
Mm,
build those relationships, nurture those relationships, because those are the folks that are actually going to help you remove the obstacles that may be in the way of your team achieving their goals.
right.
And I think that as I compare and contrast your example from this previous weekend, where people could notice that you guys are engaged and interacting and call it clicked,
Right.
I think it's this. You can apply that same thought and principle to any genre, or any industry, because it's rooted in maximizing, building, nurturing relationships, which
Mm,
at the end of the day, won't that unlock the ability to collaborate and partner?
mm.
How can you collaborate and partner with no relationship?
I don't know.
I
You're
think
right.
that's if we were to pull the onion, peel back the onion, and go upstream from collaboration and say, hey, here's the before you get to collaboration, we need to work on building relationships with the people that matter the most. And that's going to allow that and help to facilitate your ability to be successful long term and theirs.
Hmm. So how do you, and you said being intentional about it,
Mhm.
with all of the demands? of what you have to deal with and do,
Hmm.
traveling, micromanaging, all these teams and people under you.
Yeah.
How do you be intentional when you gotta, well, I got this meeting, I got this to do, I got this person will need this tomorrow,
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
Because that's what I think why a lot of us don't get no further in
Yeah.
life is because
Yeah.
we're so consumed with the day-to-day type stuff. And like you were
Sure.
talking about the other day, the facade of being productive when it's just being
Sure. Yeah.
busy. So a
Yeah.
lot of times we just don't, we don't know how to cut those certain things off or limit those things. Okay, we have to do them, but they don't have to consume my whole day, or they don't have to,
Sure.
So how do you micromanage yourself to
Yeah.
make sure you're looking out?
Yeah. Yeah. Two things come to mind. One, we've talked about before, and the as I've progressed throughout the years and through my career, I've become more and more willing and able to say no to things.
Mm,
I think that's really important, because you have to control your time and
mm,
how you use your energy, and part of that is the priority of others not necessarily mean that that's your priority.
mm,
So I think that the power of saying no is one piece of that, of how to manage, um, your ability to be successful leading such a large organization. The second piece is surrounding myself with great people,
mm.
and what I mean by that is talent.
Okay.
So you have to have the right people around you to help to support you, and when you get the right talent, you need to keep the right talent. So it's part of that is being able to assess, right, of
Right.
what understanding what your team needs
Right.
now, going out to source and assess the talent that's out there within the market or within the industry, bringing on the right people and helping them to develop.
Mm,
And then you put them in and put them in different places, or what I like to call uncomfortable situations, is where they start to grow.
mm,
And then next thing you know, that they're taking on the next opportunity or the next challenge or the next promotion. And that's what helps to manage it all, because they almost envision it as like tentacles. You have all these very talented people around you because you've taken the time to go and source it and get the right people.
mm.
I mean,
Okay.
understanding that takes time. You can't rush people decisions,
Hmm.
because you make bad people decisions, you can pay for it in the long term every
Right.
time.
Right.
Um, so that I think that is that those two, the power of just saying no and surrounding yourself with top talent, are really critical aspects of freeing yourself up to go and do the important work, like collaborating with the
Mm,
other key stakeholders and decision makers. So again, as I mentioned earlier, that intentional trip up to the home office to do just that, walk
mm,
around, spend time building relationships, nurturing those relationships, collaborating, so that now I understand what some of the challenges are, boots on the ground within the buildings. I'm up there collaborating so that they understand exactly what some of those challenges are, and they can help remove those obstacles for you.
right.
So
Mm,
I think that's just that intentionality around making sure you're at the right place at the right time.
hmm. Okay. I like that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, just saying no. That's I was
Yeah.
I was
And
just
a lot of times, people that are, call it mid-career or earlier in their career, they say yes to everything.
hmm
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. So I've been in that space too, as you're trying to build and gain promotions and all that type of stuff. So you say yes to everything. And that's a dangerous place to be.
right.
You just got to be more comfortable controlling. You know where you're strong, and you know where you fall short.
hmm
So build your routine around the things that you do best, and get the appropriate talent on your team to help to boost you up in the areas that you don't do so well in, not as strong.
Right. And do you find it? challenging. I'm just, we live in the era where mediocrity is promoted, celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I don't know. How do you find those exceptional people and that talent? Or
Yeah.
do you like look at the potential of a person and be like, okay, they're not where they need to be, but I can work with this person. They got the right attitude. Or do you
Yeah.
actually run into those people that like, oh my gosh, they got it all intact, and you like had to do a double take because it's so rare. It's like what,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it goes back to, and I agree with that your point around mediocrity and how it's accepted, and in some instances celebrated.
It's kind of cool.
Uh,
It's like trendy
yeah.
to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
mediocre and be dumb,
Yeah.
goofy as a
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, some of that, I mean, and that's what builds the culture of the organization too. So you
Mm,
have to be really careful, because that once you set culture, it's really difficult to change it otherwise. Um,
right.
I think to answer your question though is more around understanding that there's, as far as talent is concerned, there's no perfect leader, right?
Hmm.
We all come with a set of strengths and a set of opportunities, things we do really well, things we don't do so well. I think it goes back to really understanding where your organization is at that point in time. I think all organizations kind of go through this cycle, the ups, the downs, and it's, bad year, good year, new leadership, old leadership. So it's always like this evolution, and you really have to
Hmm.
be in tune with where the team is, culturally, so that you understand what exactly the team needs right now.
Right.
So with that being said, you may compromise a certain piece. Maybe using this as an example. If I have one of the facilities, let's say one down in Jacksonville, if they're having an issue culturally within the building, so call it about 300 people within that facility.
Mm.
And through my observations and the feedback from the leaders in that building, it's a cultural issue.
Okay.
Compared to maybe a different building, maybe up in Rhode Island or in Massachusetts, it's a tactical issue,
Mm.
as far as just being able to operate. So those two, so comparing and contrast, the cultural issue in Florida versus the tactical or performance operating model challenge up north require two different skill sets,
Okay.
right? So I will go and source the talent for the building that I need, someone that is high touch, understands relationships, values, approachability, and values engagement. I need that person down in Florida.
Okay.
I might not need that skill set because culturally, the building up north, they're in a good spot culturally. They can't get out of their way just from a functional point of view. So I may go and grab someone with more of an engineering background
Mm.
to go into that facility. So I think it's more about just understanding where the team is that in that particular point. Um, so that kind of speaks to the how do you find that talent. Going back to the mediocrity thing,
Mm.
I think that is more about accountability, and kind of what we were saying is it's cool, it's trendy, it's accepted, celebrated at times. People are so in this current environment, people are so fearful of not having the resources to 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 do the job
Mm.
that they will overlook a lot of things like that mediocrity. I'd rather
Mm.
have someone here to do the job. I know they're mediocre.
Right.
I know they fall short, but it's better than having no one. And that's part of the mentality,
Mm.
that because of the work environment, the industry, people they're out of jobs. A lot of places are venturing into automation, right?
Right.
Robotics, things of that nature. So it's difficult to find people. So therefore, yeah, I'll deal with it. because I'd rather have someone, a warm body in the building to be able to execute and to deliver upon these results than no one. Yeah. And I think that that's part of the decision making that goes along with that acceptance.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll do.
They'll do. Yeah.
And
They'll do.
you don't even have a vision for them to be better. You don't even take the time to really train the person. So you're looking at the state this person is in right now, and you don't even see a trajectory of what could be, what this person could turn out to be. That it could be an asset, like big time.
Yeah.
You just check mark. I got that person. I got that. That's taken care of, and then don't revisit it.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Nah, okay. Yeah. That could be a miserable place to work. Like, because then you get some people that are motivated, that's excelling, and they got to deal with this mediocrity all around them. And I guess the morale that would hurt that.
Yeah.
And that's the danger of it, of just accepting anything and not having a plan of growth and development for your people. Sure. So that's definitely getting into some leadership stuff. Speaking of that,
maybe we can talk about some of that leadership next time we get together.
Yes, did y'all enjoy this talk? I hope, click in the chat, send us a comment. Hey, Brian, if people want to connect with you, what's the best place to connect with you?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
I would say. Yeah, you can check me out on LinkedIn. And also, I didn't get to make this plug, but I have authored a book based on my doctoral research.
You go.
The title is Leadership: How Multi-Generational Teams Shape Organizational Culture. And you can find it on Amazon. So please go check it out.
Oh, yes. All right. Yes, go check out Brian Young's book. Go check him out on LinkedIn. Connect with this high-level person, and you will not be disappointed. Well, anything else? I think I'm good. Hey, what about you guys? What's one thing that you're going to do differently as a result of this talk, as far as collaborating with others, someone to help you grow and develop? Maybe there's something that you have that somebody can collaborate with you, even though it's a two-way street. Look at what you can offer others that, help them grow, and then you can grow together. See, that's the thing. That's being unselfish, right? All right, that's something you can work on. I'll follow up with you next time, okay? All right. Well, thank you all for joining us for this weekly call, and we hope to see you next week. Take care.
Take care.